Hello everyone and welcome to episode 59 of Podcast of Five Rings, your source of enlightenment in the realm of video games, tabletop, anime, film, and tech. Each episode of Podcast of Five Rings releases Monday mornings on iTunes and SoundCloud and Talk About Topic day by day on YouTube, with a full video releasing on Friday. Catch updates about the podcast or for other news, give us a follow on your social media platform of choice, listed in the description below. I'm your host, GM, and overseer of Podcast of Five Rings, Obsidian, joined tonight by the same two guys from last week. The wall that will not fall, Tetsuo.
I was here last week, wasn't I?
You were. And the resident wildcard, Mao.
Yo.
Meta is getting married tomorrow.
What?
They'll leave me and Mao as the only bachelors on the podcast. It'll be a tale of two halves. He's going to come back a different man in like 2 weeks or whenever he's back.
Someday, maybe.
But no. Wish I could be there, but we're not. Work sucks.
I know.
Yep, I know. Work has literally been like, it's been the worst week of work all year for me this week. We're on mandatory overtime. I've had to work 11-hour days the past 3 days.
Oof.
Yeah, because some of the production people went on vacation last week. I work at a sporting goods place that does like uniforms for schools and stuff, and so everyone who screen prints and embroiders and stuff, a lot of people were gone, including the person who checks all our packages in. So a lot of new product from Adidas came out, and it all basically got shipped to us last week, so we were behind because of that. Then they all come back on vacation, and coaches are back at schools and stuff this week, and they're ordering stuff, so it's been insane. And one of our people who worked in the Bracken production is having a kid, or had her kid like yesterday, I think. And so she's gone. We're like short staffed. We're behind because people were out. And
it feels like whenever someone takes a vacation there, you just get swamped.
It is. And I'm someone who knows how to do a lot. I'm someone who knows how to do a lot of stuff there, so I'm often the one that has to float around and do stuff. But it's not just me this week, it's everybody. Like the owner on Monday said, all right, short notice, everyone has to work 11 hours mandatory overtime every day this week. Maybe next week.
At least a little planned.
Yeah, no. And no one is happy about it, and we're all miserable. And it's, of course, it's like raining, it's muggy, and it's like 98 degrees outside. And in the back warehouse, it's like 100 and something. So it's freaking miserable back there. We all basically have to go back there for like 2 hours every day and help, and then come back in and get caught up on our stuff. So yeah, it's been fun.
It's rough, buddy.
Yeah. It's all, I'm just like whistling the Octopath Traveler music in my head, like as I go throughout the day, keeping my head down. I gotta get to Friday, gotta get to tomorrow and play Octopath Traveler. It's a glorious day. Meta's getting married, and that game's going to be in my Switch. And I'll probably honestly pass out after like 2 hours.
Just be sick tomorrow.
No, I thought about that. Shh. If I do, we won't tell anyone.
All right.
I have to wait for it to come in on Amazon too.
Oh, that could be till later.
Yeah, because you gotta get your $12 off.
Well, you set it up so that it'll you get the notification when it's in, and that's when you suddenly come down with food poisoning.
I gotta go, guys. I'm out. See ya. I've already put in my 2 hours in the back. I gotta get out of here.
Ding! Oh, yep. That must be my food poisoning.
Too much heat stroke. I gotta go. I'm dehydrated. See it.
Well,
that's harder to fake, but anyways.
I've just been cleaning all week, basically, and catching up on Macadamia. I've caught up on the anime.
Have you? It's really good, dude.
It's amazing, and I'm happy and sad it's over.
The All Might,
I'm caught up.
The All Might stuff is really good.
Yeah,
him and All for One fight.
It's so good.
Was really good. Anime.
I'm sad I don't have more to watch.
Yeah, and it took a week break last week, so. Yeah. Well, I got that feeling a few weeks ago when Shokugeki no Soma's third season ended, right in the middle of the arc where it's the finals of the what's it called? Where they face off against the Elite 10 in the team format.
Oh, wow.
It ended after
up there?
Yeah, it ended after the first round, the third season. Like, right in the middle. I was like, this is a really jarring place to end this.
They're about to catch up.
Yeah, they are. So, what about you, Tets? What's going on with you?
Nothing exciting at all, like any of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been
You've been lamenting Gundam Breakers isn't as good still.
A little bit. To be honest, I don't know. I wasn't.
I'll give you something because I've only seen Gundam the one with Shining Finger sword.
G Gundam.
Yes, thank you. I downloaded the movies of the original Gundam and I'm going to watch them because I heard they were really good actually.
Yeah, they are a good like synopsis of the show. I mean, if you were to watch the original series, it's like 50 episodes long, and it's a 1979 anime. So
yeah,
if you've not experienced it, you're better off maybe going ahead and.
I heard that was the best way to go was the movies.
You should really watch Iron Blooded Orphans. I think that would be right up your alley.
Yeah, Iron Blooded Orphans is amazing though.
You want some edge?
Oh man,
I do like my edgy stuff.
They have so much edge. They have maces with edges. So I mean,
I am going to start with the Therion the Thief and Octofast Traveler. So I am an edgy man. I need my brooding.
I really do think Iron Blooded Orphans is probably my favorite Gundam series.
It's really good,
and it's also probably the closest to Code Geass.
It's got my favorite. It's got my favorite designs, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, its mech designs are closest to Code Geass. That's what I was thinking specifically. So. Yeah.
Well, let's get right on into topics and forget about how awful our weeks have been. Shall we?
Sounds good.
I guess.
All right, Tets, you're first. What do you got?
Well, so last weekend, actually, I got together with Mao and a couple of our other buddies. We started up a new Pathfinder game.
Oh, baby.
And of course, because at first I didn't think I was going to, I had some stuff going on, so I thought I was going to be busy, and I ended up being okay to go. And like, I was having one of those moments, like trying to grab everything as I was walking out the door. And I get to our buddy's house, and I pull up, and I realize that I left my dice bag at home. And I was very, very unhappy with myself. And I was thinking about it because, like, I legitimately thought about just driving back home and getting my dice. And
if we had known what we knew by the end of that night, maybe I probably should have just gone home and gotten them.
Because
it was sound like someone rolled badly.
Oh, I rolled 4 1s, 2 2s, and a 19 that I critted on damage wise, and my crit damage die roll was a 1.
Nice.
Yeah, rolled double digits in combat once,
and that was my critical hit in order to roll a 1 damage to double. Yeah, because I ended up borrowing 2 different people's sets of dice, and a lot of our players like have a lot of dice, and I know I have like pounds of dice, maybe getting on tons, but
yeah, I'm addicted to them as well.
But like I have 2 sets of dice that I always use, and I was joking. I was like I really should go home and get them because my dice are gonna know that I'm using another set of dice, and they're gonna curse me from home. And I said it totally jokingly. And then what happened? I rolled such utter crap. And I was kind of thinking about it this week just because it was really funny coincidentally, but it played perfectly into how a lot of gamers have these superstitions relating how they play. Or, you know, it might not necessarily be dice, although there's 30 million superstitions on dice alone. But I was curious what superstitions y'all might have. Obviously, one for me is my dice like me to roll my dice, and they get very unhappy when I'm not rolling them. They would prefer me use an online roller than touch somebody else's dice. So,
you want to go ahead, Mal?
I don't really. I try very hard to not keep any superstitions, and like just try not to hold on to anything. Like everyone's gonna have bad days and good days, I know a lot of our friends tend to think I'm like super lucky, but I think or with dice rolls especially, but I think it comes down to confirmation bias, really.
Yeah.
It just, I'm expected to roll well, so when I do roll well, it's like people are like, "Yep, there it is," and then they
There's
ignore when I
another one
roll
of our
awful.
buddies who I think it's the opposite. He rolls, like we always say, he rolls horrible. He's always going to roll really badly. And I think it is, again, a confirmation bias. Like, when he rolls badly, everybody's like, he rolled badly!
There it is. There's the thing. He did it.
I mean, I've seen him roll some atrocious things, mostly in Warhammer.
That's
which
true.
also may be more a part of his tactical, part of his tactics.
But the dice themselves have not been friendly.
Then he rolls sixes.
No, it's once.
Oh, is it? Okay. I'm thinking there's one game where you want to roll low.
There are some checks, at least in earlier 40Ks, where you wanted to roll low, and some that you wanted to roll high on.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing immediately comes to mind other than that. Like, I'm not gonna, or like, I've definitely played up the lucky part sometimes, but
Yeah.
I don't hold on to this. I try and not maintain any superstitions.
You're not blowing on your dice or anything like that.
No. Everyone, there's like 8 billion people in the world, so there are 8 billion years in 1 year, so it's not like it's not actually that outside of the possibility for someone to just, roll ones constantly for one night.
Yeah.
That's why you play 5th edition. You just mitigate those ones, right? Let's get
Be a
advantage.
halfling.
Mine, I'm like you. I want to roll with my dice. I also don't want anyone to touch my dice. I'm that guy.
I will agree with that, not so much from superstition standpoint, as much as these are my dice. Even if you don't have dice, I've given you dice.
Mine are both.
Don't touch the one in front of me.
Well, here's the thing. I want my pencil, I want my dice, I want my sheet. I don't like people writing on my character sheet random things.
That's just something.
Like,
have you ever had somebody try to do that?
Like, why would you write
not like random things, sheet? Like the, like, say it's like you're playing a new game, like you've never played before, and the GM will, like, help you fill it out. I don't like them doing that.
Okay.
Gotcha. I want to write my own stuff on my sheet.
I see.
I thought you were gonna be like you
not like
up
other
to get something
players
from the kitchen, and somebody like, oh, you took this much damage, and writes down the damage on your sheet for you, or something.
I just thought maybe someone's drawn dicks on your character sheet.
That has happened as well. But no, I don't like that. I don't like people grabbing my dice or pencils, because our GM, when I'm not GMing stuff, our other GM, he is notorious for he'll just pick up the dice and roll them and play with them, like because he needs a fidget spinner really bad or something to occupy his hands, and he spills them and they go under the fridge and everything. And if I get like bummed out because I'm OCD about having all my dice in my dice set in my dice bag. I don't want to be missing one. I don't like that. I don't want to use them if I don't have all the dice in the set. I'm just really weird about that.
I agree with that one. And actually, that reminds me, there was one, I guess, maybe this falls more under OCD than superstition, but I always have to do it anyway.
That's what it is for me.
Where I have a bag of dice that are like my quote-unquote regularly used dice. And it has, like, this is going to be a lot of dice. It has a full set of the Star Wars FFG specialty dice. I have 12 D6s. I have a separate 6 D6s from a convention we went to one year. I have another 6 that I got from the Pokemon trading card game. I have 10 D10s from L5R with the Chrysanthemum, 10 with the Scorpion, and 10 from when I first bought D10s to play the game. And then I have 4 sets of 7, and then 5 spare D20s, and a scatter die, and I'm missing like 2 other sets. I don't remember what they are. But anyway, my point being, anytime I open up my dice bag to get like my 7 dice out in order to like start playing, I have to separate out all of those sets on the table, display them all out before me, make sure all of the dice are there, and then put them back into the bag in the order by which I use them.
We're good. They're all here.
So the ones that I use the most are on top of the bag. I don't actually have to dump it out, but I always do because, I think it's more OCD than superstition, but I just have to make sure they're all there.
When I play D20 games, I keep three D20 sets out, and then like a bunch of D6 and a bunch of D8, usually depending on like what level we're playing. So like that's for that. For L5R, we have so many D10s, it's ridiculous because that like L5R, White Wolf games, there's like so many games that use D10s. But I have like a set for each clan that I'll play when I'm that clan. I have 2 sets of Crane dice. I have the AG Crane dice, and I have the Chessex blue sparkly sky blue dice that I'll use for Crane. I have a set of brown and gold dice that are Chessex that I use for Lion Clan. I have a full set of the clear purples for Unicorn, black and red see-through for Scorpion, forest green colored dice for the Dragon Clan, orange dice for the Phoenix, so on and so forth. Blue and red for Crab, and the same chrysanthemum dice you have that were in the Second City box set. So,
yep, that was where I got those.
and I don't want people losing my dice. I don't want them touching them. Yeah. I keep the little plastic things, and I keep them in there when I don't use them.
Yeah. Well, because I have, as I said, I have my main dice bag, and then I have 4, just quart Ziploc baggies filled with dice, and then I have a little, I bought it online, but I use this only for all my spare D6s that aren't part of sets, and it's a, it's like a round pouch, but it has a giant eye sewn on the top, and a bunch of like eye stalks, so it's supposed to be a beholder, and the zipper is its mouth.
I have a chainmail DOS bag, so
nice.
The for GMing, I always have to use I always want to play on the map, the little dry erase map, because I don't, and even like playing games, I'm like this too, because I don't like keeping track of wounds or stuff on my sheet. Because the sheet becomes scuffed up and then I can't read it. I'm like OCD about that too, and superstitious about it. I don't want to like keep erasing stuff and have giant scuff marks. Yeah. I don't know. I'll tear holes in my sheet.
Yeah. So another one for me, and this is so you sometimes see players where what they'll do is they will, whenever they're not using their dice, they'll set them so the ones are facing up, so as to let the luck run down to the 20 or whatever. So when they, so it's more weighted. Or I've seen people, they always store them with the highest numbers up. Yeah. So that way they're training the dice to roll high. And it's like, both of those are silly, but I specifically go out of my way to make sure none of my dice are resting at either the 1 or the 20. Like, I don't mind them being any other number, but I won't let my dice sit there at those.
It's all about what number you pick them up on.
Well, exactly. Like, you pick it up. I always pick up a die. It's a 2-3 shakes and then drop, and then whatever. And so it's like, if I keep letting it stay on the same number, I'll start rolling in the same range. So I always want them to just kind of sit at different numbers.
I'm the only one in my group that's really anal about their DOS too. We have like a giant communal bowl of DOS at my buddy's house. And one of my roommates will always, he'll pick out random dice and go, "What's rolling hot tonight?" And he'll just sit there before the game and like roll 20s. I'm like, "You're just wasting them, man. You're wasting those 20s."
That's how that works.
But we're all superstitious about, like, if the dice is rolling bad, we will get rid of it and get a new die.
Grab another one.
I think almost everyone does that.
Yeah, that's why I switched sets, because, well, although we did realize that one of the dice, because it was translucent, after I'd been rolling for a little bit, that it actually did have an air pocket, and we didn't initially notice it. So to a degree, sometimes,
as long as you're not microwaving them,
superstitions are. Oh no. I'm more afraid for my microwave than I am for my dice if I ever were to. Like, I don't know what a die would do to a microwave. I don't know. You hear stories of people microwaving their dice, but just for me, I'm like, no, I don't. I use that for food. I don't want to. Like, no.
I also don't really need to cheat at a role-playing game, so.
Oh,
anyway.
yeah.
Oh, no, I thought it was just like punishing a die for real.
Oh, no.
Usually I've heard it as
people trying to load their dice.
I see.
Oh, no, I've always heard it as, like, my die rolled really badly, so I put it in the microwave for 30 seconds and made the other dice watch, or whatever.
I've never heard that, but that's
really,
interesting.
Yeah. That way they know the
Yeah.
cost of failure.
I used to have a lot more dice, but they kind of got taken.
They'll do that.
I have some. I have some that I just like aesthetically, but like, I mean, I let other people use them and stuff if they want.
Oh no,
Don't really bother me.
that can't happen.
I have so many
like-
dice. I
yeah.
have enough dice where it's like I have no problem letting you borrow dice from these bags. You just
Yeah,
can't
exactly.
touch
The
my
retired
main
dice.
bag. Yeah,
The
well,
retired
they're not
dice.
necessarily retired. A lot of them have just never been used because I have a bad habit of buying
Okay.
dice just because they look pretty.
I'll do the
I like
same.
dice. I actually have some. So I have some dice coming in the mail that look like little like galaxies on them, like for my Stars Without Number game. Like I just like dice. I need to stop buying
Yeah.
dice.
I have D6s that are like silver and gray too, that are really, or black and silver that are really cool looking. They're like heathered or freckled or whatever. I don't know the term for it.
I still use the first D20 I ever got.
Oh, there's Superstition.
It's just more of out of habit, really. I mean,
I had to retire.
Oh no.
I had to retire my first set because
Ah.
like the gold numbering on it used to be well enough for everybody to see, but as we started playing, it becomes harder and harder for everybody to see. And I have a habit of rolling, calling aloud, like waiting like a second or two for somebody to look and then picking it up.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's so hard to read, I wasn't letting people have enough time to try to read it. And so I was like, oh, I see what you guys mean, how hard these dice are to read. So I've since switched my primary set with
Mhm.
another one. But I definitely still use those dice for my GM stuff because y'all don't need to see what I'm rolling. You know what I mean? Like as a GM, it's
Yeah.
like
I remember my first DOS set was the clear ones, the plain clear like white ones with black numbers on them, and they were awful because you couldn't see what it said on them. You had to like lean down. I did not like those, and they are lost to the sands of time. So,
like days of our life.
like sands in the hourglass, so too the DOS of our lives. So yeah, it's everyone who the superstitions always seem to boil down to DOS. It always
Yeah.
surrounds DOS. Because
I
I
don't
mean,
know,
it
I
makes
don't know
sense,
what
doesn't it? Because it's
I
a
think it's
chance.
just the randomness, yeah.
Exactly.
yeah.
Just chance with it.
I will say one, and again, I don't know if this actually like fully qualifies as superstition necessarily. But it's if good hospitality is not had before the game is going to be a failure. And like I don't know, like, and that kind of sounds like the two go hand in hand anyway, and makes sense. But I'm talking about like when everybody
You gotta
gets
break
there.
bread.
Yeah, once everybody gets there, you know, everybody's having a good time, just kind of talking and bullshitting before the game, and I don't necessarily mean it like if you have bad blood between people before the game. Obviously, they're gonna have bad
Yeah.
blood at the table. But say everybody gets there and there's no issues. It's just everybody's kind of sitting in quiet before the game starts. The game starts, everybody's engaging, but then like dice rolls start going badly, or you know the GM randomly left some of his notes that were integral to the game at home, or like I don't know, like the two for some reason feel connected to me. And again, that's probably more, I guess, superstition.
Yeah. Yeah,
but-
I'd put that in superstition. We always go eat before we play.
Yeah,
like
I think
that.
anything that comes down to a habit can also be like breaking that.
Yeah, and I think it's more equatable to that, possibly.
Mhm. Yep. We always go get breakfast the morning of our games.
Yeah, like seat orders, or can like I've heard of people.
Oh yeah. Gotta
Stuff
have
like
the same
that.
seats. I have to have
Right.
my same seat every time.
Yep.
Just anything that's like a habit, and when you don't break that habit, it's like the first excuse people latch onto.
I don't want other people switching
It's
seats
like
too.
it's like literally waking up on the wrong side of the bed. I mean, that's literally the same thing. Your
Yeah.
habit's to get out of bed on the left side, and you got out on the right. You know.
Oh man, we had I think I might have told this story before, but in L5R, the first ever L5R game I played, way back in 2007 or 8. So yeah, like 10 years ago. It was a first edition game, and the battle table was brutal. We had one of the characters got killed by one die, 1d10. That kept exploding, and it was a vampire, the masquerade die. And people who played will know what I'm talking about. Those D10s, they're the red tip D10s that are black, and the rose is the 10 on it. And our GM had a whole set of them, and that's what he rolled. So we called them the vampire dice. We basically took those dice from him and hid them away, like a like it was basically like some kind of meta thing. And he was kind of like, I haven't seen the vampire dice lately, and the guy who he killed was like, it's because we took them and hid them away. You're never going to see them again. Then he like ran like, I was tasked with keeping the dice hidden, and I like pulled them out one day and forgot about them. They were like on my dresser, and he saw them and grabbed them. So now he has them again, and he's hid away.
No.
And the player he killed like moved away, but he comes back every once in a while. He's like one of my friends from high school. He'll come back and sometimes like play for a game in one of our games and stuff. He's like, one day I'm gonna like pull those out and just kill him with them again. That's what he said. So we're very superstitious about those dice, and I was like, I have those jade chrysanthemum dice, so if he tries to do it, we'll pull those out and you can use those to counteract it.
Yeah, what is it? Critical Role's got some superstitions too, especially Laura Bailey. She sits there and rolls like her dice to choose which ones, because she's got more dice than Tets.
Yeah, hers are ridiculous. Oh, I love those dice that you posted.
I feel like that's a challenge, and that I need to get more than.
Dude,
nobody's allowed to have more than me.
Those blue and gold dice are awesome.
Well, it helps when you have like hundreds of fans sending you dice as well.
I know, or at least the money to buy dice.
Right.
I really don't have
But
money.
there's one but it was just, or it's funny because like Taliesin from the show, like he had this one dice that they ended up calling the Golden Snitch because it was the dice he rolled, and he would roll a bunch of 20s on it. And then it's like you look at the stats, and he's got 4 attacks because he's a fighter, and so of course he's rolling more 20s than other people. He attacks more than you.
And action surges.
Yeah, and an action surge. So it's like I rolled 8 dice. One being a 20 is not that shocking.
Yeah, sometimes with advantage.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Superstitions, every group's got them.
Yep.
I kind of like them. They make it more fun.
I mean, they're amusing. Yeah.
It's a game outside the game in a way. All right, Mal. It's not your topic. You were second. It's my topic. I almost went to you. We specifically talked about why you were going last, too. I even rearranged you in the notes, but I still went to you next. Let's get on to my topic.
Let's get on to your topic.
Thank you, Mal. So, my topic this week that Mal pitched to me because work has sucked and I haven't been able to come up with anything.
So it's like it's my topic.
Yeah, it's like Mal has 2 topics. Earlier in Discord, he posted that this week's issue of Weekly Shounen Jump is its 50th anniversary issue. So they're kind of celebrating the history of the magazine. They put out a cover
1968 to 2018. So that's how math works.
Yep, they put out a cover that looks cool. It's got a homage to a bunch of old Shonen Jump characters and stuff on it.
The cover, at least, is the it's like a new mangaka doing an older one's character art. Like it was Oda doing Luffy and Goku. Yeah, One Piece and Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I noticed Naruto looked really different too.
Yeah, it's because it's done by the guy from My Hero Academy.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it's the people they're next to is who was it drawn by.
Oh, okay, I didn't even know. So
like the guy who did Black Clover drew Hiei from Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh yeah, I noticed it now.
Ronin Kenshin. Dr. Stone drew some chick I know of. Is that To Love or whatever? Maybe?
Yeah. Yep, he drew the To Love Rue.
Yeah.
Who drew what did the Haikyuu guy draw? It looks like a horse. Was he Gintama?
I don't know what the horse. Oh, wait, no, that's not right. I don't know what the horse is from, honestly.
Okay. But anyways, that's not the point. Us talking about these.
They are also
that Kubo has a one-shot coming out that I'm super excited for.
That was also on the cover.
Because more Kubo. We need more Kubo.
Burn the Witch.
Yeah, Burn the Witch.
There's also a giant art piece.
Yeah, there's a fold-out. Looks a poster that has a bunch of old characters.
Yeah, old and newer.
Yeah, it's like the true. I want this to put in my room. But
yeah, a blown up picture of that.
Scroll out poster, cool. Which I'll probably make the YouTube thing, video picture. But anyways, so yeah, 50 years of Shonen Jump. Mal came up with the idea to talk about what our favorite Shonen Jump manga over these 50 years were. Yeah, mine are both the same. So I'll let you guys go first, and let's talk about why, and maybe why we like them so much and why they're important to us.
All right, Tets, what you got?
Of course, you started with me.
Well,
there's a lot. Like,
yeah,
I have a lot of favorites too, man.
Like, if I were to say, like, right now in this moment, because it's something I'm currently enjoying, I would have to go with Macadamia.
Yeah.
But, like,
I thought you were going to say Boruto.
I will stab you. I will. No, but there's a lot, especially on that particular section, that I've really enjoyed at one point or another.
Look into your heart of hearts.
Yeah.
I really want to say Death Note is one of the ones that's up there for me.
That's a good answer.
It's a good one.
Just because it was like kind of my introduction to like a true darker styled manga. I didn't really watch the anime much, but at the time when it was coming out, I was working at Books A Million. And so I would always spend my breaks at Books A Million. I would go to the manga rack and I would pull off whatever I hadn't read yet, and I would spend my whole break. So every break I could finish one book. And so whatever I was reading at the time, you know, that's what I would do. But I got the entirety of Death Note read during that time. And,
nice.
I don't know. It's just, it's great. It's really hard to fault it as a series. There's things you wish that characters did differently, but as a series...
It probably went on a little too long.
Yeah, it should have ended after L and Watt, in my opinion.
L should have been...
It wasn't their fault, though.
But you know what, though? I do think that if they had pulled the whole shonen thing of character that you thought was long gone came back, which I'm glad they didn't, let me clarify, but if they did, it would have made more sense for them to do something like that. Or at least had L be the second set and have the more inferior detectives be the first set.
Yeah.
Because they really, if it wasn't for them, I don't know that L would have been quite as beloved as he is, because you didn't have anybody to contrast him against besides Light.
Yeah.
You didn't have anybody like as a detective wise.
That's what, like, I think every editor at Shonen Jump's like, you gotta have a rival. That's like the first thing they always say, almost. So that's why you always have these like rival characters right at the beginning.
Yes, but like, I don't know, like, I feel like they could have still started with the other, like, I don't know, like.
Oh no, I agree with you.
There was the other detectives as well, but none of them held a candle to L. Not that the other two really did necessarily either, but they did more so than the.
They should have did more with a female director or detective. Whose husband was killed or fiance. That arc wound up really quickly. Felt like.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? Katekyo Hitman Reborn was one that I fell in love with when it came out.
I never read that.
I got into it right after they had transitioned from gag manga to battle manga. So
man, was I happy when they did that?
Yeah. I mean, the gag was okay, but it wouldn't have been something I would have consistently read.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's a baby.
But it was such a great, like even though it wasn't exactly a gang drama story, it also was, and that was just really fun to me. I really enjoyed it a lot. In fact, I still actually, one of the times I went to a convention, I bought like half of the team's rings from whatever point in the series they were during that convention, and they're laying around somewhere. I have no idea where they're at, but
speaking of anime that probably should have ended an arc sooner. Pretty much. Maybe. Yeah, that's just an ongoing thing in Shonen.
I'm just sitting here staring at Ichigo and as like the poster child of that.
I'll be honest though. Both. So the two that I guess I feel like a lot of people would say, Naruto and Bleach, for me, and even One Piece to a degree, I was never all that.
You're not a big three guy.
I mean, but it's not necessarily about anything particular about it. It just, they were interesting, and, you know, they had their arcs. They didn't really hook me personally.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they all went on longer. They ended up all going on too long, and
that's why they're
by
the big
end,
three.
I've dropped One Piece, and then I wanted to drop Bleach, but they're like, it's the last arc. That arc lasted
for like
4
7 years
or something.
Yeah.
Like it was like a 4-year-long arc, and now I felt cheated.
And it still ended prematurely.
Yeah.
It would have went on. It'd still be probably going on right now.
Speaking of going on, as I scan further along, one of the other ones that I just have to mention because it's so influential for I think anyone, Dragon Ball Z.
Well, there's a reason it's front and center, basically.
Yeah. I don't feel like you can't. I don't think you can not mention it. Like you have to mention it. It's whether or not that's still relevant.
I mean, it's also not been going on the whole time.
Yeah,
that's true too. But next to him, Yu Yu Hakusho. I remember.
Yeah, it's one of the best.
Hell out of that when it was on Toonami.
Yeah.
It's not one of my favorites, but it is like I think one of the objectively best shonen of all time.
When I'd seen most of it.
Tournaments in shonen. Basically.
Yes, it did. And I remember like I'd seen like a good bit of it, but I had missed so many key parts when it was on TV. And then when I came back from the Air Force, I actually borrowed all of the DVDs from like a buddy of mine, and in the course of like 2 days, I binged watched the entirety of Yu Yu Hakusho, just sitting on the floor of my.
It's not that long. It's very well paced.
Like yeah, but
that's the best thing about it.
Too.
I mean, it's a bunch of tournaments.
Yeah, like I don't know that I could like when I kind of look back, I'm like I don't know that like it's good to watch like as a weekly thing. I don't know about really sitting through and watching it because again the whole tournaments thing is like
I binge watched it when I watched it, so. But
it was good though. It was definitely enjoyable.
One of my friends, one of my roommates actually is basically Kuwabara. So
is that a compliment or an insult? I don't know.
Both.
Because I love Kuwabara, but
yeah, he's awesome. He's my favorite character in the show. Sword, get longer. I love him. Yeah, that's a good one.
But there's a bunch in there. I could just.
I mean,
yeah. DN Angel,
We've been around for 50 years.
Yeah, like God.
None of us touched the right side of this picture that we're looking at because
I can't get over there because there's so many things.
I mean, I recognize like
Rurouni Kenshin,
Yu-Gi-Oh,
Hokuto no Ken, Saint Seiya,
like past the Goku line.
No, I know. I just mean like that's what I keep bumping into. Like that's
there's
why
like I think 5 I recognize. Like some I recognize, but I don't know their names.
Right.
Yeah. Saint Seiya.
Yeah, Kenshin, Saint Seiya. Hokuto no Ken.
I've heard of, obviously Fist of the North Star.
Yeah. Ashita no Joe's the boxing one.
I've watched some of the Kinkuman wrestling anime.
Yeah. A lot of these are old gag manga.
Yeah.
I'm also having a hard time seeing a lot of the characters in the back.
There's Tarchan is the guy flexing just to the right of Rurouni Kenshin. So yeah, Mal, what about you?
That's the question. Honestly, Macadamia is definitely up there. Like it's on pace to maybe just be my favorite of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
If it keeps going and it doesn't just drag on, and it has a satisfying conclusion, then it will. If it keeps going at this rate, it's going to be the best.
You know what I think it is? They keep the power levels in check. So anything that drags on feels like it makes sense for the story. It doesn't feel like it's dragging because you're not used to having a ramping up of power and then a plateau in the way that you do in most other shonen.
Yeah, well, it's got like the suite.
It's got some of the best characters.
Yeah, it's got the suite of characters like Naruto had like all the teams at the beginning, right? That's what a lot of people loved, all like the different characters, but they didn't get like some of them got cool scenes.
It's super shallow, like
exactly. Yeah, some of them did like
a lot of the
10-10, who cares?
About.
Like everybody liked Rock Lee, they liked Shikamaru, a few characters. And those were the ones who got all the screen time. And then the other ones just kind of got forgotten. My Hero, like, kind of like it like focuses in on a few the same way, but the other ones feel like more better developed characters still, like with actually backstories and stuff they care about. And they do get little arcs and stuff, like the Jiro, I think, the girl with the earplugs in the manga, just got a lot of character development in the last arc.
And even the naval laser guy got a few chapters.
Who is a joke character, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Next will be Grape Juice. We'll get the tragic backstory of Grape Juice.
I was happy to see when he ranked so low because he's an author like pet character basically.
Yeah.
And I'm glad when he ranked low. He was basically telling the author, no, stop.
No, stop with Grape Juice. No one even knows his name.
Mineta.
Yeah, Mineta. Thank you.
Because I just rewatched, or I just caught up. So, I'm usually awful with names. Let's see. Yeah, Reborn was definitely one of my favorites when it was ongoing. The ending did sour me a little.
Yeah.
I think. Other than that, it's probably with iShield 21. Actually, I don't know what about it. I just loved it. It's It's definitely one of my favorites of all time. I don't like
need
sports,
to read
but
it.
I love sports manga.
I need to read it. That's one I've been meaning to read for a long time, and I just have never gotten around to it.
It sort of, and yeah, it only goes on a little too long, I guess. Like
the art is really good in it too.
Yeah, well, it's the guy they got to do One Punch Man.
Yeah.
Marita or something, I think his name is. Yeah, and then the author, the guy who does the story, is doing Dr. Stone right now. The story for Dr. Stone.
Yeah, and people love Dr. Stone.
It's also really good.
So apparently they're good.
No, just looking. Yeah, I mean, I've read so many of these, but those are definitely like the top.
Gintama's never going to end either. It and
also,
One Piece.
Assassination Classroom, I ended up loving more than I thought I would. That was actually one that wrapped up pretty nicely. Like that, definitely they could have kept going. But
yeah,
you know who I haven't seen on here? Medaka Box. Is that on here anywhere?
That's okay.
That was Shonen Jump, wasn't it?
I don't know.
So I do have a list of Shonen Jump series pulled open on the Wikipedia. And apparently in 1969, they actually had a Twilight Zone manga that they ran.
Oh, wow.
Which the B-flick
Did you say 69?
Yeah, 1969.
So like their first year of running, basically?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was.
1969.09 to 1969.14.
Yeah, I always just remember Medaka Box because it was an ECOE scene. He's the popular light novel. He's the Monogatari guy.
I gotcha. Yeah, that one started off real good and just spiraled.
Yeah, I didn't. I stopped reading it after a while. I really liked it at the beginning.
It just went.
The character designs are really strong in it, in my opinion.
Oh,
and striking.
Mazinger Z.
What was it? The guy with screws is probably my favorite from that.
Mm-hmm.
The minus guy. Did you say Mazinger Z is Shonen Jump?
Yeah.
Surprised he's not on here then.
No, he's
he's hiding somewhere.
Yeah, he's hiding somewhere on the right-hand side.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A minute ago. What's the main character's name? Blarg. Anyway. But yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's one that I watched though. I didn't read that one. I watched the anime of it not long ago.
The only the only other one that comes close for me, I think, is Ob's answer. So I'll let him go.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of these are pretty important to me because I mean, shonen is a lot of people's like first entry into anime. Like it's a very easy genre to get weaned into it on. Even though it's like very cliched and stuff, but I have like a very soft spot in my heart for shonen. I love the genre. It's my favorite. Obviously, Rurouni Kenshin's really good. Like, as soon as I got into L5R, I hadn't seen Rurouni Kenshin at that point. I started watching it, so it's like closely tied to L5R for me. So that's why it's really important to me. I've never liked One Piece. I just don't like his art. I understand why people like it, though. I understand why people like it. I couldn't even get into the early stuff. I I want to watch Haikyuu. Bleach, I really liked as well. It just, again, went on too long. Naruto is a really important one for me.
It defined the basically the current generation of shonen protagonists.
Yeah.
Basically, everything since Naruto has been
Yes.
some kind of derivative of him.
Well, I always, like, right when Naruto came out, and it was airing on Toonami, I thought it looked so dumb, and I gave one of my friends crap for watching it, and he was always like, you gotta watch this, dude, you're gonna love it. It's like Dragon Ball Z, but better. And I was like, oh, yeah, whatever. I was like, no, Full Metal Alchemist, dude, that's like the real good shonen stuff, which it is, but that's not Shonen Jump. So, one of my other friends was like, you should really like, years later was like, you should really watch it, you like it. I was like, fine, I'll give it a shot. It was right in the anime, at least, it was right before the Sasuke and Itachi fight happened.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's somewhere like right before that.
In the original Naruto,
Yeah, and well, no,
Like
no, in Shippuden.
we're in Shippuden. Wow.
That's the anime. I think the manga was during the Kage Summit. I don't know.
Yeah, so you got into it way.
I got into it late,
Yeah.
but I think I started watching it and I could not stop, and I marathoned every single episode. I think I watched every episode of Naruto up in that point, except for
even
like
filler?
I went through like half the filler.
Oh, okay.
And then I stopped. So I'm probably minus like 30 or 40 episodes. There was
Yeah,
a lot of filler.
That taught you about Paradox or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
In like 8 or 9 days, I think. No, it wasn't that quick. That's impossible. I watched.
Mathematically.
But
Yeah.
it was. I mean, it was on the same time frame as when Obs plays the multi-hour video game.
Yeah, it was like when I beat that 80-hour
Yeah.
game in like a week. It was like that same hours. I was working part-time at a job at the time. So literally when I wasn't there, I was watching Naruto, and I was getting like 5 hours of sleep a night or something, and just watching it constantly. And they're 20-minute episodes, so you can watch 3 in an hour. I was basically watching 10 hours a day. That's like, it was a lot. It was maybe like 2 weeks, I think. I watched like everything up to that point, and I like came back over like the next time I saw him. He's like, "So where you got?" I was like, "I've watched all of it." He's like, "There's like 300 episodes." I was like, "Yeah, I've watched like all of it."
Yeah.
I was like, "It's amazing." So, and then the fourth Shinobi World War happened, and that sullied the series. Death Note is great. I love Death Note. I like Prince of Tennis too, the anime. Go on. What are you gonna say, Tets?
No, you continue your thought. Mine's gonna be tangential.
Well, I'm trying to think of the name because it's slipping me for some reason, even though it's one of my favorites. Oh my God, Alan Walker.
Gray Man.
Yeah, D. Gray Man's one of my favorites too. I'm sad.
I wanted to love it until like the first few of the hiatuses hit, and I was just like,
yeah, the hiatus
can't
is what made it
love it.
rough.
yeah.
Oh, also shout outs to the newcomer, Promise Neverland. It's really good.
Oh,
I need to catch back
is
up
that
on
the
it.
one? That's the one with the kids in the orphanage with the
Yeah.
monsters, right?
It's
Yeah.
getting an anime soon.
I haven't
It's
touched it since
good.
they jumped over the wall. Like I know that's way early on.
That's
I
when
haven't
I
touched it
stopped
since
as
then.
well, Teds.
One I'm not seeing on here that I also really enjoyed was Shaman King.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Shaman King was
I see
really
somewhere
popular.
in the back.
That was
He's gotta
basically
be
Naruto
somewhere.
before Naruto.
He was Naruto with Pokemon aspects. Let's be honest.
Pretty much. I'm sure he's on here somewhere, but no. My favorite manga of all time, and one of my
Nisekoi.
favorite. Yeah, it's obviously Nisekoi. I really like Nisekoi, and
I
then
know
it
you do.
didn't end either, and I was like, I can't
Oh,
take
right.
this
Also-
anymore. Also, what, Mel?
I was gonna. I might. It might not be Shonen Jump. Actually. Yeah. I don't. Never mind. I don't think it is.
Okay, but anyways, my favorite manga, one of my favorite anime, it's definitely top 3, if not my favorite, is Bakuman. I love Bakuman so much.
Yes.
I don't know, I can't word, it's so different than other shonen. It's a meta commentary on shonen. It's a shonen for people who love shonen.
Honestly, I do not like slice of life. I need some sort of action going on. Like, I like slice of life with other things on it.
Yeah.
But Bakuman, oh my god. I love that so much. Such a good manga.
I think it's the only manga that I started reading at the beginning when it started being serialized and read it all the way through until it finished too.
Yep.
Like every week kept up with it. I don't know. I can just watch it or read it like anytime. I can always pick it back up. The anime is really good too. It's basically the manga but animated. All the characters are great. Yeah. I love trying to
people. It's done by the two guys who did Death Note.
Yeah, it's Oba and Obata. Yeah. You kind of get some meta commentary. Is like the reversey Death Note. Basically, it pretty much is their last manga that they get an anime made. For those who don't know what Bakuman is, it's all about two guys who meet in high school, and basically, like one of them is like, "Hey, you're a good artist. I want to write stories. Let's make a manga." And there's a girl he likes who wants to be a voice actress. And they make a promise that they'll start dating, or I think even get married potentially.
It's
they're not going to date.
Silly.
Yeah, they're just going to get married.
Part about it.
Yeah, they're like not even going to talk to each other until he gets his own anime made, and she's the voice actress of the heroine in the anime.
And yet, as silly as that premise is, they actually really pulls it off really well in a really sweet and endearing way in the manga. I think personally.
Yeah, I like their romance story too, and I love the manga within the manga. Like yes. I love Crow. I want to see anime of Crow so bad.
There's so many of them. I want to become actual manga because
Perfect Crime Club.
Yeah, yes. That one would be awesome. PCV or what is it? PCC. Yeah. Yep. I want Otter's 11 just because I love that character too. The mangaka for Otter's 11, he's awesome. So,
yeah, they riff on different authors from Shonen Jump and whatnot. And
the guy who does Crow, who's like their rival guy, he's basically Oda and Kishimoto mixed together, is what I think Oba and Obata or one of them said. But Bakuman's great. If you love shonen, then it's basically a love letter to shonen.
It taught me a lot. It teaches. I mean, I don't know how accurate it is, but it definitely gives you more of an understanding about the manga industry.
Yeah,
and it does open your eyes to a lot of like. There's sometimes there was a few things that I kind of questioned as a consumer of manga that afterwards I was like, oh, now I can understand why that's a thing.
How crazy their work schedules are.
Yeah,
is
that
insane.
Too, just in and of itself.
They get no vacation, basically.
Yeah, there's a schedule floating around of what Oda's or One Piece his mangaka does, and it's just crazy. It's like 4 to 6 hours for sleep and like 0 time for breaks, and it's just go.
Yep. Serialized in a weekly magazine. So yeah, Bakuman's just great. It's different than any other shonen too. That's
pretty much.
It's not a fight thing. It's not action. It's just pure slice of life and just an insight meta commentary on shonen. And it's crazy that it got made, and it's crazy that it's so freaking good.
Yeah, I think the script. I think reading translator notes. I think it was like double the script of any other normal manga too.
Yeah, it has a lot of exposition and stuff in it because it's a lot of them explaining, like, the editor will talk to him like, here's why this needs to work better, and they'll also be panels within the panels that they're like drawing that'll have script on them as well. So it's like you're reading 2 manga at once. It's insane. It's so good. I can't say anything like better about it. Just oh my god. So yeah. Sadly, I wish Oba and Obata's like newest stuff was as good as Death Note.
Platinum Angel or whatever. Garbage.
It's not. Oh my god, I hate
so
that.
So bad.
Yeah.
I don't know why they went that way, but I think maybe they were trying to recreate the Death Note feel, but it just didn't work.
No. So, yeah, Shonen Jump, man, 50 years.
Yep.
It's been great, and like I said, I think early on in the podcast we talked about the new Big 3.
Episode 2.
Yeah, could there be a new Big 3 with Haikyuu and which is really pop? I think that's Dr. Stone's like getting up there now too.
Yeah.
One Piece is never just never going to end.
Right.
So,
There's actually supposed to be big One Piece news in this. The next issue, I
Really?
believe. Yeah. So I'm curious.
I do want to see how it ends. Like, if they announce like it's ending, I'll probably just start reading it from there, just because it's important.
Yeah.
Like to read it. Probably.
I might. They just released, I think, a week or two ago. It's like, hey, Zoro's back. The samurai character.
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
got a bunch of swords and he's cool. And it's like he hasn't been around for 2 years. Our time, like, because like over 200 chapters he's been, or I think it was, or something.
Yeah. Well, they've been dealing with what's his name,
or maybe
Sanji a lot lately, haven't they?
I think. But anyway, and in universe, it was like 11 days. And I'm like, this is why I stopped reading.
Yeah. This pacing.
Yeah.
So.
Man.
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm with you guys. I think Macadamia's it's got a shot to be one of the greats.
Can't wait for the movie.
Yeah, the movie. The people who saw it early said it was really good.
That's
so. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I don't think we get it, or I don't get to watch it until
this. It's this fall, I think. I think they're showing it in theaters.
Well, I meant for the dub.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I think they're only going to show the sub for it in the theaters. So, wah wah. All right, Mal. Close this off here. What do you got?
All right. Well, the only thing I went out and did was I went and saw Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah. Pew 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 pew.
Hey, I just watched Ant-Man.
The Ant-Man.
The Ant-Man.
Yeah, the first one.
Uno.
Which I rather like.
Yeah, I mean, I quite enjoy it. I mean, I don't think there's a Marvel movie I don't enjoy.
Yeah.
But, so I wanted to talk about that. And I know, because I know Ob saw it.
Yep, I saw it as well.
Unfortunately, I wanted to get spoilery on it, so.
We'll talk about general stuff first, then we'll give spoiler warning.
Do I need to leave?
Yeah, well, I guess we can give a, we'll
give a spoiler warning.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, this is before Infinity Wars.
Yep.
And it cuts to, it's 2 years after Civil War.
Yep.
Is the time frame. And
Scott's on house arrest.
Yeah. It quickly explains like why he wasn't in Infinity War, basically.
Yeah.
And then it goes off. It's very self-contained in its story,
which I like.
Yeah. So they got the same director who came back who replaced Edgar Wright in the first Ant-Man, who has only like done 4 other movies.
Yeah.
Bring It On was his first movie, the cheerleading movie in 2000. Yeah.
Way back when.
Just amusing. He's done some television
It's
shows.
already been brought. God, old memes. Old stale memes.
Yeah. But, and then, you got Paul Rudd returning, who's just great.
I love Paul Rudd.
It's amazing that he got, like, this role, I think. I mean, pretty much all the same returning cast. Hank's back, Hope's back.
Yep. Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
I really like Lawrence Fishburne's character. Goliath. Retired Goliath.
It's a nice nod. That's something I saw some people really liked, is that Marvel has such a huge roster or whatever of characters from all the comics, obviously, that they can just pull like random roles. Like, apparently the villain's dad is a character from the comics that you would only really know if it was, if you knew the comics.
Yeah. So
like, it's kind of like a little bonus for people who know the comics, but for us, we're just like,
I had no clue.
Right. We obviously have no idea, and it doesn't like hurt. It's a really fun movie. I mean, it's the Ant-Man series.
Yeah.
Like the first one. I mean, comedy is definitely, I think, the forefront of it.
Yeah, it's essentially like a comedy action movie.
Yeah. And it was the palate cleanser I think we all needed.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say eventually. It is totally like, after how somber and serious Infinity War was, it was nice to get like a very lighthearted movie afterwards.
And I felt like the flow of this one really was tighter than the first one. I don't know. The first Ant-Man, the whole like end bit, like the whole heist at the end, just kind of doesn't feel like it connects as well. I don't know. Something feels off to me. This one just was. It was a very tight time frame. Like, I think it was 2 days, right, or something.
Yeah, it wasn't very long. It was like 2 or 3 days. Yeah,
it's very tight, and
stuff is always happening in this movie.
Right. They also, I think they did a good job with Wasp. She was really cool, I think.
Yeah. Basically, the like, you kind of gotta like explain a little bit of what they're trying to do in this one, I guess. The plot thing is basically like, Scott's in trouble because he went off in a civil war and fought with Captain America. He's on house arrest now. So basically, like, broke the Sokovia Accords, I think. Is that what they said?
Yep.
So, Hank Pym and Janet's the mother, Hope Van Dyne, is they're basically kind of like on the run, essentially. They find out that Scott basically like leaves a voicemail on Hank's phone, or that he might like be able to find, or he like thinks he saw like his wife or whatever when he went into the quantum realm or whatever.
From the first one?
Yeah, from the first one. So, of course, they want to find Hank and Hope want to find their lost family member. So that's basically the crux of the movie.
Yeah.
But someone else wants their technology, and it's Ghost, is it, or Spectre?
Yep.
Yeah,
Ghost.
I can't remember the name.
Who they drastically changed from the comics, but I think it was. I mean, I think it's.
I don't
cool
know nothing about the character in the comics, so
it's a dude with a super suit, and I think he may have even. I think he was originally like an Iron.
Oh, really?
I think, because it's a suit that lets him phase through stuff.
She was fine.
Yeah.
She was less like a super big bad, more of a conflicted villain.
Yeah.
Kind of a morally gray villain rather than full, like, I gotta blow up the world because.
Yeah.
Or the first movie where it's like, I just gotta get this technology and use it to make money and turn it into weaponry. Like, she had like a good reason for wanting to foil Ant-Man and Hank and them. I really liked Paul Rudd and Evangeline Lilly. His chemistry and playing off each other was good. That was a lot of the best
good chemistry. Also, him and his daughter is, I think, it's probably the most I have enjoyed a child actor in just about anything.
Yeah,
honestly.
She's great.
Like, they really focused on that. I think, I assume they're building up because in Ant-Man, the comics, her character becomes a superhero called Stature.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She gets a suit for growing and shrinking. So it's possible that they'll go that route. And I mean, it's smart to get ahead of things, like, all of these, because you don't have what the comic, you don't have the agelessness of the comics. Like, these people are going to be growing up. So just preparing the next generation of heroes, basically.
Mm-hmm. I kind of wish we would have got to see Hope do more. I think that was like one of my big complaints of the movie.
Yeah,
more than anything.
That's pretty fair. She has like a show off piece that near the start, and honestly, there's not actually a ton of action. Like,
no,
it's almost like
really.
Small points that kind of of action that, and then in between it's kind of just comedy in between, like leading up to those points.
Pretty much. I kind of we'll talk about that part, the spoilers, I guess. Something I wish I would have seen her done. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Luis was funny still.
Yeah.
Anytime he like tells the story and they cut away and it's him like mouthing over the actors is always hilarious.
Honestly, I think Ant-Man has one of the best supporting casts out of all of Marvel.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's really good.
As far as any like standalone movies go, like everyone, it just seems great all the time. Like just in their roles, they like really get them.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of one better, and I'm having
like
trouble.
Captain America, the First Class comes pretty is probably the second, like one of the best.
Agent Carter's really good.
Yeah,
and Bucky's really good.
The cast in that one, the scientist played by Stanley Tucci.
Yeah.
You've got the army guy, Captain, whatever he is, played by what's his name? Blanking. The guy from Men in Black.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. And No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, I'm blanking.
Tom Jones, not Tom Jones.
Yeah. No,
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah,
thank God.
Like, that's another one that just has a superb supporting cast.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think probably like Paul Rudd doesn't like. He's not as like he doesn't have the star power that some of the others end up with, basically.
No.
So I kind of levels the playing field. I think there's an FBI agent who's just
he's really good in this.
Played by a guy from The Office, I think it is.
Yeah.
Who just knocks it out of the park, and I like what they did with Hank Pym's character. They kind of show the darkness of like from the comics. He's not like sometimes
he's not really a good guy in the comics.
Right,
at all.
He can be a pretty asshole of a character.
Yeah. Yeah,
Plus,
they play some of that up some. Like he has like a past where he's like screwed people over.
Basically.
That they make sure that you know about.
Yeah. I think we should probably throw up the spoilers.
Yeah. That's probably good.
There's some things I wanted to touch on.
All right, spoilers in 3, 2, 1.
All right.
I think at this point I'm probably gonna step away as well because I think we might be going to see this here soon. So.
There you go. We'll go see it.
Yeah. So I will go count my dice or something.
We'll see you next week.
We'll see y'all next week.
All right, spoilers.
Well, so one thing that I think is really interesting is just how they use their trailers these days, and like basically lie to you, make you think one thing, because the trailer makes Ghost the villain, or if you can even like.
She's barely
that.
one.
Right. It's they make it sound like she's just there to take over the world. Like that's like a line. Like if she gets this technology, she can take over the world or whatever. It's like in the
and they say it in the movie, but it's still a throwaway line.
Line is even in the movie.
I think they say something about if anyone had this technology, like they could take over the world, basically.
But I know a lot of people going into this were like, "Ugh, such a boring villain, motivation for this character." Yeah. And then like it turns out. She's just, she's in constant pain because she has been torn apart on the quantum level.
Yeah.
And put back together and is,
and Janet might be able to help
give her powers.
Yeah, she thinks Janet can, basically the energy she has can like cure her, essentially. Right. She wants to basically like steal the energy and potentially kill Janet.
Right. Yeah, the movie doesn't really have a big villain, which I think is an interesting take because Marvel's known for not having great villains.
Yeah. And I don't know if she's like a top tier one, but she's not bad. Like she has like a clear, understandable motivation.
I think she did a great job, like acting wise too.
Oh
like,
yeah,
she
she's
always
fine.
Looked like she was in super pain and whatnot. Which,
yeah, she was just barely around in the movie. Yeah. It wasn't her fault. It's more the script.
Right. But the character is pretty interesting. Like you can understand, like she just wants to survive. Mm-hmm. She's had a tough, like she was trained by basically Shield to be
an assassin.
Yeah, probably Hydra infiltrated Shield because
I think that's what they imply.
Right. But she's never so like. There's one point where she wants to basically threaten kidnap Scott's daughter Cassie. And Lawrence Fishburne's character Goliath, talks her out of it. So she's like never so far gone that way.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
she's, gonna hurt a little girl. There's also a secondary like antagonist in the arms dealer guy, basically.
Oh yeah, the southern
I don't remember
guy.
his name. Yeah,
Yeah, I can't
And,
remember
like,
his name either.
yeah. I'm awful with names.
I'm like just trying to. I'm looking on the Wikipedia page, and I don't even. Sonny Birch. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Walton Goggins is Sonny Birch.
Yep. I mean, even them, like they were almost. It was almost kind of cartoonish, the movie on a whole.
Who's apparently an Iron Man villain.
Huh. Well, that I can believe that since he's like arms dealing and stuff.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. I kind of wished that Hope would have been the one to go find Janet. I thought that's what they were setting up, but I wish that, but I was still fine with Hank doing it. It did make sense for him. That's why I wasn't like, oh my god, it ruins everything.
Honestly, the whole end fight sequence though was pretty cool. Like the whole car chase, like I think it does a great job of showing like the Ant-Man and Wasp superpowers set.
Oh, they do great job with They did a great job with that in the first movie too. I thought and working the comedy into it.
Well, I think they just did a great job of like showing like how these guys are still superheroes. Like I think it was just a great job.
And that's stuff they do in the comics. Even the goofy stuff. Like Ant-Man will literally be driving like a toy car or whatever in the comics.
Oh yeah.
And like
there's a Hot Wheels basically assortment of cars that they just was so good.
They have a case of Hot Wheels. They just pick them out and put them down and they like get into them or whatever. That was funny. But yeah. And of course the ending, the post-credit scene.
Yeah, that I saw a lot of people were like, "Huh, that was a fun, palate cleanser of a movie."
Oh no!
Mid-credit scene, and now I'm left with horror, existential crisis.
Yeah. Thanos snaps everyone except for Scott out of existence
after
he goes into the quantum realm.
The quantum realm, yeah, and then Hope, Janet, who had just gotten back. They've had for a month because I think it's 30 days after the movie is when the snap happens. Yeah, and man, though I'm pretty sure like Ant-Man's key to this whole thing in that Janet gave the line of what like the solution is. Yeah. Because when Scott's about to go in, she's like, "Watch out for time portals. We can't save you if you go in." Yeah. It's like,
Well, he's also came out of the quantum realm before, so I think he'll be in the second Avengers.
I mean, yeah, some spoilers for possible Avengers 4 production photos.
Oh, really? Have some of those leaks?
Yeah. So
is he in them?
No, but some situations look like they were from past Marvel movies.
Okay. You'll have to link me to these because I haven't seen them. Or I can probably just Google them.
Time travel involved.
That's interesting. I didn't even know that anything had leaked.
Yeah, this is old actually. Because I think Avengers 4 was
Oh god, something's gonna appear on the podcast because it had a. I hate it when you click on a page and then trailers just start playing.
Oh yeah.
So the podcast it's gonna go sometimes and then I clicked off of it, so you're gonna hear that. But I'll look at it after we get done recording. So yeah, I like the first one better personally, but I mean it wasn't like by much. I still enjoyed this movie. It was fun. It wasn't slow. I had a good time.
Yeah, I enjoyed it more than the first.
My expectations were pretty low going in. I was just like, oh yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'll go see that. And I was like, yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. I don't think it's just Marvel's casting such a huge net with their movies these days, like in stylistically and stuff. Like you can't even necessarily compare them to each other anymore. Like Infinity War and this are just like polar opposites, it seems.
Yeah. They are. They're completely opposite. And then it comes full circle.
I also think that they might use Ghost as like a reoccurring, like maybe even
I could see that.
or even just full-blown hero because Scott was going into the quantum realm for healing particles for Ghost.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I could totally see that.
Yeah. What else? Yeah, I really like the movie. I don't know where I would rank it, but I don't have a ranking on hand.
It's like mid tier. I'd put it in one of the mid tier.
I would put it. Yeah, Ant-Man's kind of just for the sheer quality of other Marvel movies. It's like low mids. So but I put this one ahead of it for me. So
yeah, it's like on the same tier for me, pretty much.
Yeah,
like the top tier for me is like Ragnarok, Guardians 1. I put First Avengers there.
Yeah,
Infinity War and Winter Soldier are like those are the top tier Marvel movies in my opinion.
I think the Avengers end up being and the Avengers 2.5 or whatever, Civil War end up being near the top for me just because I like all the interaction between different heroes.
Yeah, those are always really fun.
Yeah, but man, this one had some great jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the magic sub. Like all of that, everything with the magic.
And it cut to the FBI director at one point watching the video too.
I don't know why. It's like I literally have a suit that makes me, giant and miniature, and people are like, he does a simple card trick. I'm like, how did you do that? Also, I think. Oh, what? Sorry.
I was gonna say I want him to try to do a magic trick for Doctor Strange at one point.
That would
then him go, that's not magic. But okay.
Like, I'm a magician too.
Yeah, something like that.
Also, the elementary school scene.
Oh, that was amazing. Where it was basically
his suit keeps malfunctioning throughout the movie.
Yeah,
so it keeps going bigger and smaller.
He's not he's like kid sized, but he's still the same proportions. He looks so funny running around because he puts a jacket over himself.
Yeah, he throws a hoodie on, and then there's like a teacher's like, "Hey,
he's
stop,
like, where's your hall pass?" He's like, ugh, and he just runs off. He's like, yeah, whatever.
He's like, yeah. And then when he gets back into the van, finally, Hank's like, "Hey, champ, how was school?
Yeah, hey, champ, how was school today?
You want a juice box and some string cheese?"
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, shut up."
You have that?
Yeah. The jokes were really good.
Yeah. Hank, and then I don't know, him and Hank are pretty great together too. Just he obviously he calls him out on his crap. He's like whenever he's staring at his daughter, basically.
Yeah.
And then Paul Rudd pretending to be Michelle Pfeiffer, pretending to be Janet.
Oh, that was hilarious too.
That was just so amazing. He did he
was holding hands with Michael Douglas or whatever. Yeah, that was so great. Funny. But yeah, it's good. It's really fun. It's worth seeing. It's fun.
I think so.
I think it's a good one to go see in the theater, and it's
not the worst Marvel movie.
No, that might be. That's either Thor 2 or Avengers 2, probably.
No,
in my opinion.
Well, so the worst official Marvel Cinematic Universe movie is the Hulk.
Just number wise.
Yeah, it's just it's not good. The Hulk movie,
yeah.
It wasn't done by the same people. Yeah. After that, it's probably Thor 2.
I really don't like Iron Man 2 either.
Yeah, Iron Man 2 is also pretty down there. It's a lot of the earlier ones. Basically anything post, anything since Civil War especially, has just been top notch.
Oh yeah, that stuff's all been great.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
So now we have 10 months, I think, because they're not doing a November release this year because they're stupid.
They're the next one is Captain Marvel.
Yeah, which I am all on for. I love Captain Marvel in the comics, and
I'm more interested about the Skrulls than anything, and what they'll do with them.
We're gonna get they also showed off some of the de-aging technology, which just keeps getting better and better.
Yeah.
Which I think we're going to get to see a lot of with because we're getting
because I think they're doing it to Samuel L. Jackson and
Samuel L. Jackson and then Agent Coulson because it's going to be in 95 or whatever, so we get them de-aged. Lawrence Fishburne de-aged was damn.
Yeah, it looks really good.
So realistic.
So did Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer looked really good too in the past scene. So
yeah, it was weird because they made Janet look older than Michelle Pfeiffer actually is.
Yeah.
But then they de-aged her at the start. It's they didn't just actually show Michelle Pfeiffer real age.
Yeah, it's come a long way since the college age Tony Stark.
Oh yeah.
In the one movie.
Yeah.
too. I thought that was very
just Civil
Uncanny
War.
Valley. Yeah, I thought that looked weird to me.
Yeah, I was thinking like, what's his name? Kurt Russell and Tron. Like,
Oh my god. Yeah, that's yeah. It's up there. Go see it. It's good. It's what is it? 19th Marvel movie.
20th, I think.
20th?
20 or 21st. Yeah, I think no. Infinity War is 19, so this was within the 20th.
Yeah, 20th. The train ain't stopping anytime soon, people.
Nope.
It's just gonna keep on going. And I'm curious. I'm just curious if it's gonna sustain its momentum past the Avengers 4, which the title supposedly leaked.
Yeah, I saw that too.
What was it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't
but
remember.
I saw
it
that
wasn't that good in my opinion. I was like, eh. Avengers 4 title. What was it called? Dang it, just tell me in the headline so I don't have to click on your thing. End game.
In game? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. We're in the end game now.
So yeah. We'll see what happens when we get to next year.
That's it.
All right, this has been episode 59 of Podcast of Five Rings, your source of enlightenment in the realm of video games, tabletop, anime, film, and tech. Each episode of Podcast Five Rings releases Monday mornings on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Talk About Topic day by day on YouTube, with a full video releasing on Friday. Catch us. I've messed up again finally on the end.
Oh.
Check us out on Twitter at Podcast 5R, Facebook P5R Podcast, the streams PSO Flow, and Podcast of Five Rings.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yes, the things that we do so very often. I was actually thinking about doing Magic at some point, Magic Arena on there, which would be fun.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Magic the Scrubbing, because I'm not a great Magic player by any means. I'm not even like a passable one by any means, but I enjoy playing. So maybe we'll do that. We'll get back to Final Fantasy in like 6 months. When life is giving me some lemonade a little bit and I have some free time. So until then, we'll be back next week, I'm sure, after I'm 80 hours deep into Octopath Traveler or something. And I'll probably be talking about that. All right. See you guys next time. Goodbye.
Later.